Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss the Minions movies featuring the voices of Sandra Bullock, John Hamm, Michael Keaton, Allison Janney, Steve Coogan, Jennifer Saunders, and Jeffrey Rush, and directed by Pierre Coffin and Kyle Balda. Now, I remember this movie coming out, and I thought it would look pretty funny. Well, is it as funny as I remember? Or in the trailers? Let's find out, shall we? The Minions singing the Universal was funny, but strange. The backstory of the Minions reminded me of what should have been happened in the Star Wars prequels or X-Men, where it should have been remained a mystery. Like, where did Darth Vader and Wolverine come from? Like, where did these Minions come from? Like, we don't want to know. I don't think I want to know that for sure. We don't need to know where they came from unless if we should know. Well, they made this movie, so whatever. We were fine with Despicable Me 1 and 2, where they were still remained a mystery. I do like the setting of this movie being in the late 1960s as a prequel to Despicable Me. Bob is probably one of the cutest Minions I've seen in this whole movie. Like, I want to pinch his cheek so much. When they're stranded in the middle of the freeway and Stuart gets almost ran over by a truck, was pretty funny. Then we meet a family with a couple voiced by Michael Keaton and Allison Janney with the kids. I don't even know what their names are. 2 kids, 1 little baby, and who seem like nice people to go to VillainCon. And that didn't turn out as funny, but hey, it's just a comedy. Sandra Bullock voices Scarlet Overkill is kind of a mediocre boss to work for. I like Gru better. That's my personal opinion. The Minions sing "Banana" is a little too much, or well, not much, but I would say old, because they say it too much in this world. Bob falling asleep to a scary bedtime story I thought was really funny. Speaking of which, maybe I should go to sleep with the bedtime story. Good night, peoples. Back to the review. I do like the music of Despicable Me being in this movie, so that's a good way to put it. Bob grabs a sword in the stone, like the movie The Sword in the Stone or King Arthur, but not a great reference to King Arthur, and suddenly becomes king. Like, do they know their mission was for Scarlet at all? I don't know. Bob's speech, as he says, and the graduation music begins to play, is rather odd to me. Because isn't the graduation music for people that are graduating, not King being prepared? Anyways. Scarlet trapping and torturing the Minions was just a terrible scene because Scarlet is evil. Yeah, I don't buy it. Scarlet's coordination of being queen gets canceled by the Minions almost killing her off, not on purpose, by the way, folks. And she thinks it was what's this word? And she thinks it was, and tries to get a bunch of villains to her, try to chase them, and she gets Bob and Stuart and try to get Kevin. Well, this is Kevin. It's about 3 different Minions, so please bear with me. To come to her is a bad thing for the plot. This is not the movie I wanted for the Minions whatsoever. I feel bad for them because they're so buggy. Giant Kevin is like a Jack and the Beanstalk cliche. Fights off Scarlet. It's funny, but it ends too quick. To be honest, it really does. The Queen giving these Minions a little crown for Bob's teddy bear named Tim, as they said in the movie. Stuart a snow globe and a guitar, which he ends up breaking. Poor guy. And Kevin being pronounced as Sir Kevin. And Scarlet steals the Queen's crown again. And we see a cameo of a little Gru, who was which was a little bit of a weird ending. Plus, the stuff they do with the little Gru during the end credits. Did we really need Gru in this movie? I guess we do. There's an after credits scene where all the characters in the movie show up and sings Poochie was a pretty worthless after credit scene, but hey, what am I gonna say? It's cute, but it's still worthless as an after credit scene. Now time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 5.9 out of 10. It's cute. Don't get me wrong, it's cute. I like the settings of the 1960s, and plus the music, but unfortunately the story was a little weak, and it's kind of a guilty pleasure for me, so I'm gonna just stick to that. So I'll be back next week for Despicable Me 3, and until next time...